Bueno, ya le iba a bajar con pero bueno, voy a estar con máquina de esto. No, chulo. Lo que sí, I didn't bring my jacket. Let me go really quick for my sweater. Mister. I got my sweater. Sí, me dijo que chulo. No te iban a ver chulo.
So number 9 is also going to be taken. Number 9 is also going to be taken.
Siguieron viniendo gente.
Sí, todavía.
Oh my God.
¿De qué?
Que siguieron viniendo gente.
¿En dónde? Oh.
Qué bonito.
I really like how they're wearing the different colors se ven muy padres.
¿Vas a cantar?
No, yo no canto.
¿No?
Sorry, tengo muchos talentos, pero cantar no es uno de ellos.
I sing, but terrible.
Exactly. Not just important.
Good evening, Roma ISD family and guests. We're about to start this meeting. It is now 7:30 p.m. and I call this regular monthly meeting of the Roma Independent School District Board of Trustees being held this Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024 to order. Let the record show that this meeting was duly posted according to the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. The first agenda item is roll call. Board Vice President, Mr. Jaime Escobar Sr.
Present.
Board Secretary, Mrs. Yadira A. Barrera.
Here.
Board Member, Mrs. Mary Lou G. Cruz.
Here.
Board Member, Mr. Evie Garza Jr. Board Member, Mrs. Karina Mascorro.
Here.
Board Member, Mr. Raul P. Moreno Jr. And myself, Board President, Mr. Ricardo A. Perez, present. Let the record show we have a quorum in attendance at this regular monthly meeting. Agenda items number 2 and number 3 will be the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Let the record show that Board Member Mr. Raul P. Moreno Jr. is present at 7:31. Agenda items 2 and 3 are the invocation and pledge of allegiance. This evening, the invocation is will be delivered by Mrs. Karina Mascorro, and the pledge will be led by Mr. Raul P. Moreno Jr. Would everyone please stand?
Dear Lord, we come before you with gratitude for the opportunity to serve our students, staff, and community. Grant us wisdom and guidance as we discuss matters that impact the future of our students. Help us to work together with respect, understanding, and a shared commitment to the success of every child. May our decisions reflect the values and needs of our community, and may we always strive to do what is right and just. In your name, we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
Thank you, Mrs. Mascorro and Mr. Moreno. We will now proceed to agenda item number 4, which is student staff recognition, subletter A, principals. As all of you well know and are aware, the month of October, I believe, has been declared as Principals Month, and it gives us all pleasure to be able to recognize our outstanding campus principals. So before I do that, we have a letter that was sent by the governor of Texas, Governor Abbott, and I would like to read it to you aloud if you will indulge me. It says, principals are tasked with a singularly noble task, the education of Texas's children. Our children will ultimately determine the future of Texas, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow can be shaped profoundly by a principal. The Texas education system depends upon the leadership of dedicated, capable principals. They cast a vision for their school and work tirelessly to realize it. Principals are not only a source of inspiration for their students, but they are also a leader for teachers and staff. They inspire their teachers to give the very best for their students, who will give the very best in return. An adept communicator, a firm disciplinarian, a savvy analyst, and a judicious policymaker. A good principal is crucial to student success. Each year, the month of October is set aside to honor principals and to commend them for the invaluable role they play in our educational system and our future. The Lone Star State owes a debt of gratitude to these men and women who represent the best of Texas values. At this time, I encourage all Texans to educate themselves about the contributions principals have made to our great state. Principals drive for excellence will ensure that our future will be better and brighter for all. Therefore, I, Greg Abbott, Governor of Texas, do hereby proclaim October 2024 to be Principals Month. Ladies and gentlemen, this time I would like to call on each principal, each campus principal to come up to the front for photo ops, but also to be recognized for all the work that they do. From Rafaela T. Barrera Elementary, Mrs. Marisa Hinojosa Garcia. From Delia G. DGG Elementary, Mrs. Citlali Gonzalez. cheer squad. That sounds good. From Veterans Memorial Elementary, Mr. Oswaldo Garcia. From Roel and Celia Science Elementary, Mrs. Odette Garcia. From Florence J. Scott Elementary, Mrs. Diana Perez. From Emma Vera Elementary, Mrs. Yvonne Guerrero. From Ramiro Barrera Middle School, Mrs. Annette Garza. From Roma Middle School, Mr. Danilo Gonzalez. From the Instruction and Guidance Center, Mrs. Maria Teresa Ramirez. And from Roma High School, Dr. Jorge Y. Guzman. Ladies and gentlemen, I think all of you can agree with me that this group of individuals are some of the hardest working employees in this entire school district. They hold the success of our students, all our students, in their hands, and they help steer their campus toward that successful path. So at this time, it gives me great pleasure to ask everyone at this time to please stand, and let's give our campus leaders a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, it's great to see this size of attendance at our board meetings, and I know that tonight doesn't happen to be because we're here. But we are so happy to see you all here and participating in this event. Each campus leader, I know that each campus leader has made their campus a success story. And it is, without a doubt, our school district shines because of our children and our teachers and our campus leaders and the rest of the staff as well. But we are recognizing, this month we're recognizing our campus leaders. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees and Superintendent Gonzalez, to all our campus leaders, thank you. Thank you for the outstanding and critical work that you do on your campus, because that makes all Roma ISD shine, not only in this county, not only in the Rio Grande Valley, but we are being talked about throughout the state. People want to come visit, and that's directly because of all the work that the teachers, the students, and the campus leaders, everything that you do, it is all together. It's a strong bond, a strong chain. And we thank you once again for everything that you do. I'll invite my colleagues at this time if they'd like to say a few words.
I just want to add that it's very evident why our district is a dynamic district. The example is right here in front of us. Congratulations to all of you.
Yes, I would like to say a few words. Being at one time a principal, I know how hard it is, how strenuous days that you will have, and you are evidently a very, very good principal, because that is the crucial, it's so crucial to student success. And what do we have here in Roma ISD? Student success. And you all are the leaders, and you are the role models to everyone. And I'm very proud of you all the principals here at Roma ISD. Exceptional, always awesome principals that we have. And again, happy Principals Month from me.
Anyone else?
I want to congratulate you all and let you know that we are very grateful for your dedication and passion towards our kids. We know, like Mr. Perez said, we're being recognized by many people from the state of Texas that want to come visit because they know how good we all are doing. And we know that this is because of you all's leadership. And we want to let you all know that we're here to support you, and we are very, very proud of you, and hope you have a very good principal month. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay.
Congratulations, again, congratulations to all the principals. Of course, you guys are what make Roma ISD what it is. But again, shout out to all these teachers that are here, because they are también what makes a good principal. So once again, congratulations to the principals and congratulations to staff.
And to finish off, congratulations again. We can't emphasize it enough. They've already said that, you know, we get congratulated, and it's all the work that you all put in, everybody in this room. Like Mr. Perez said, it's a team effort. Congratulations on the leadership that you all take for your schools, but also for the camaraderie that we can see that it's evident that is going on within the campuses. So that speaks very highly of your leadership and you know, everything that you do for your campuses. So congratulations again, and happy Principals Month.
Well, the principals know what I think about them. I have the best principals in the state of Texas. We have a good team. Every time we meet, we learn something. They just show their dedication because they're always prepared for the meeting. But I want to thank you, teachers, for following your leader at your campus, because without you, we couldn't get it done. But without the principal, we couldn't get it done as well. It takes a team. Without the team members up here, we couldn't get it done. Everybody working together, it just makes our school district better. And we are the best school district in the state of Texas because we have the best principals in the state of Texas. We also have the best board members, right? I better say that. We have the best board members in the state of Texas, but we also have the best teachers, students, and parents. All of us working together just makes up what Roma ISD is all about. And again, that's why we're the best. Thank you all principals for the work you do.
Well, with that said, we are going to continue with the business portion of the meeting, and you are required to stay. No, I'm just kidding. You are free to go. The doors are not locked. If you want to go and celebrate, and I think you should. I think you should celebrate every single day. Every single day. Have a great night, and thank you very much for being here.
It's always the element.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, it's a place. He needs to stay young. You gotta stay young.
There's plenty of seats up here in front if you all would like to sit closer to the stage. Okay, at this time we'll continue with agenda item number 5, public comments. District Superintendent, Mr. Carlos M. Gonzalez, Jr.
Mr. Pettis, nobody signed up for public comments?
Thank you, sir. We'll go to agenda item number 6, consent agenda 6A through 6I. Presenters Available will be District Executive Director of Business and Finance, Mr. Pedro Alanis, and our District Tech and PIMS Director, Mr. Manuel Garcia.
Good evening.
If any of you have any questions for Mr. Alanis, you may ask them at this time.
On page 22, Mr. Alanis, it says, the check number says 065458, no. Yes, that's the number, right? 065458?
Yes.
What was that labor for, Mr. Alanis?
It's it's labor, I believe, for repairs of buses,
Oh, okay.
transmissions of the buses.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions for Mr. Alanis?
Yes, on page 26, check number, it says E, it starts 06555451, but then others have an E in front of it. They all say contracted, miscellaneous contracted services, but the sum is quite a lot.
What's the check number?
Check number 065451.
That's for, for the AC at the academy, at the Gladiator Academy. They installed the central air.
Okay. Was it multiple or was it just one air?
It was
I'm
the,
asking because there's multiple,
yeah, there are multiple, like, the first two, they're for the Gladiator Academy for the cafeteria.
okay,
And the rest, there are different campuses. It's a middle school. They did some work at middle school. Arti Barrera, Emma Vera.
and this was
adult-
work that was not being able to be done by our,
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, they usually repair our freezers.
oh, okay, oh, okay.
Any other questions? Well, thank you, Mr. Alanis.
Thank you.
Any questions on enrollment from Mr. Garcia?
just for your information, we're getting ready for that snapshot window that ends on Friday. So currently we are at 6,016, and we're hoping to go up a little bit higher in the next couple of days. We have some students that are enrolling, we just haven't activated them yet.
And how many would you say? If
At
you-
least three.
Oh.
That need to be enrolled, three, that I know for a fact.
Any other questions for Mr. Garcia? Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve consent agenda items 6A through 6I.
I shall move that we approve the consent agenda, which includes items A through I, as being presented.
Thank you, Mrs. Cruz. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? If none, there's a motion on the floor by trustee Cruz and seconded by trustee Escobar to approve agenda item number 6 as presented. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, and I abstain from Star Molding LLC and Garceño Builder Supply.
Noted. And, all right, 6 in favor, none opposed, 1 absent, and abstentions by trustee Mascorro as indicated. Therefore, the motion carries. Thank you. We'll go to agenda item number 7, which is discussion, consideration, and possible action to renew the Serious Education Solutions online full resource library for the 2024-2025 school year. Our presenter will be our District Executive Director of Business and Finance, Mr. Pedro Alanis. Mr. Alanis.
Thank you, sir. We would like your permission to approve the license renewal of the Serious Education Online Full Resource Library. This renewal covers 3,888 licenses for students across elementary, middle, and high school campuses. The total cost of the renewal is $58,320. Last year, we paid $65,085.
65 or 55?
Last year was $65,085.
Was it because it was more licenses, or was it a higher price?
It was, actually, we removed some of the grade levels, and it's about the same price per license.
Where does this come out from, Mr. President?
It's gonna come from the campus budgets, several funding sources, state comp, and Title I.
Any other questions for Mr. Alanis regarding this agenda item? Thank you, Mr. Alanis. I'll entertain a motion to approve agenda item number 7.
I'll make a motion to approve agenda item number 7.
Thank you.
As presented.
Thank you, Mrs. Mascorro. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? If none, there is a motion on the floor by trustee Mascorro, seconded by trustee Barrera to approve agenda item number 7 as presented. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
6 in favor, none opposed, 1 absent. Motion carries. Thank you very much. We'll go to agenda item number 8, discussion, consideration, and possible action to renew the Summit K through 12 educational licenses for the 2024-2025 school year. Mr. Alanis.
Yes, sir. I would like permission to approve the license for the Summit K-12 educational software. This renewal covers 984 licenses to be used by elementary and middle school students. The software is for listening, speaking, and reading and writing. The total cost of the renewal is $26,297.14.
This is a renew?
Yes, sir.
Where does this come out? También for the same?
Yes, sir. It's several funding sources from the campuses, mainly state comp and Title I funds.
Out of their campus budgets.
Yes, ma'am, yes.
Any other questions for Mr. Alanis?
When you say campus budgets, Mr. Lanise, and I'm just saying, I don't think anybody's gonna disagree with it, but I'm just saying, it's coming out of their budget if, and again, I don't think anybody's, the principal's not gonna disagree, but can they say, you know what? I wanna spend it on something else?
Yes, they can, but the principal, they wanted this, it's very
No, I'm
effective for
just
the
asking.
students. Yeah, they have the option to go with other software or modem funds. It's up to the principal.
What they do is they split fund from, a little bit from each budget that they have.
Yes,
It's not just from one.
but it's up to, the principal decide where to use
Yes.
the money.
Any other questions for Mr. Alanis? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to approve agenda item number 8.
I shall move that we approve to renew the Summit K-12 education licenses for the 2024-2025 school year.
Thank you, Mrs. Cruz. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? If none, there's a motion on the floor by trustee Cruz, seconded by trustee Barrera to approve agenda item number 8 as presented. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
6 in favor, none opposed, 1 absent. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item number 9 is going to be tabled for another meeting.
Yes.
So we'll go on to agenda item number 10. Consideration and possible action on a resolution to authorize or decline authorization for campus chaplains under Texas Education Code, Section 33.002. Our presenter will be our District Deputy Superintendent, Mr. Luis E. Garza. Mr. Garza.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. President, trustees, Superintendent Gonzalez, and members of the audience. Tonight, I'll be providing a very brief overview of Senate Bill 763. The bill gives Texas public school districts and charter school districts an option to include chaplains as either employees or volunteers. These chaplains may perform certain duties similar to those of the school counselor under Texas Education Code, Chapter 33. You'll find a hard copy of the resolution on your desk, and it's also available on page 114 of your board book. Under Senate Bill 763, the board is required to vote on whether to approve or decline this resolution. That concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to entertain any questions that you might have at this time.
Mr. Garza, do you have any idea how the other school districts are doing as far as for or against this?
That's a very good question, Mr. Escobar. I did ask that question to the TASB attorney and our school attorney, and basically they stated that the majority of the school districts are declining the resolution. They didn't give me a specific number to answer your question, but they were very specific. Most of them, or the majority, excuse me, are declining this.
Okay. Is this like a paid chaplain, or is it?
That's a good question also, Mr. Moreno. It depends. You can hire the individual as a counselor, and we can pay him.
As a counselor?
As a counselor, that is correct. Or we can ask them to be just volunteers. So you have that option. Bring them in, pay them even though they are not certified as counselors, and you'll pay them. I mean, the district will pay those individuals. That's one option. The other option is say, well, we don't want to hire those individuals. We just want to get them as volunteers. And as volunteers, of course, you don't pay those individuals.
And that's just one chaplain per district, or is it like per campus, or it's whatever we
Every campus can have a chaplain, or if they are volunteer, you can say we would like to have them on a rotation basis. So, again, I did ask a specific question. This doesn't have to be a Catholic chaplain. It could be any religion. So, and that's why I provided that particular literature there. So, it doesn't have to be a Catholic.
So this is barely starting. This is new.
It is new, sir. And your obligation as trustees, because you are required, is either to accept it or decline it.
And this could be for just this year, maybe next year we could entertain it again?
I believe so, sir. Yes, I mean, if you were to accept this, we can do it year by year, yes, sir. If you think that it's not gonna work, or, then next year we can bring it, to the board and we can do it.
Mr. Garza, I'm sorry, you can go ahead.
I was only going to ask, the question is, if this individual is employed,
Yes, sir.
if we were to go that route, does that count as an FTE?
Yes,
It
and,
does.
and, yes, yes. Yes, and, Mr. Manuel Garcia has to report this individual through the PIMS, yes, sir.
Mr.
Yes,
Garza, can you please clarify, based on the information that you sent us previously for us to review,
Yes.
it was my understanding that I read, I may be wrong and I might have misinterpreted what I read, that they don't have to have any type of certificate, anybody pretty much, like, someone like me, I can go and serve as a chaplain, is that correct?
I don't know under a chaplain if they have certain criteria to be classified as a chaplain, but.
But they
for the-
don't need
for
to
the
hold
di-
a
for the dis-
certificate or
yes,
anything, right?
That was gonna be my answer to your question. They don't have to be certified as a counselor.
But somebody
As a
that-
counselor, if you have a counselor, and you want to hire that individual, the individual has to be certified as a public, as a school counselor, or have a permit, at least for a year or 2 years until they get their certification, but they will be under a probationary certificate. But for this particular individuals, they don't have to be certified. That's a good question. And yes, and I'm glad that you read it. I included that in the memo that I provided you so you could read it beforehand. Yes, ma'am. They don't have to be certified.
And that's the part that for me, I feel a little uncertain about, just because, I would, just because everybody else employed by the district has to have certain criteria or certain certificates, background checks and stuff like that, and then, to have somebody else come in, that's where I feel a little iffy about.
It's a bill that it was passed by the legislators, and our requirement is to present it to you and for you all to decide yes or no. And there are some concerns, and maybe that is one of the reasons that the majority of the school districts in the state of Texas, they decided to decline it. I know that I didn't give you a specific number. Even the attorneys, they don't have a specific number. You have to poll every single school district to decide, to figure out a number.
When would this
But
have
I
to
can
be
tell you that it's the majority, they decline it. Sir?
By when would this have to be approved? Like, in other words, if, I'm just saying, can it get tabled?
Yeah, can we
If it would
can we table
tabled, then
this?
like, by what's the deadline, like?
If you are undecided, will you be able to postpone this action item and bring it to the table next board meeting? We can do that.
Okay, here's my next question before we proceed. Can we, for example, I know you said they can either be certified or not certified, they can work as a counselor, they cannot, they can be hired, they can be volunteer. If we go ahead and put this action, I know, right now I know it's an action item to vote, right? But if
Yes.
we tabled it, can we look into it with legal to see if it's something that we all consider, maybe have some type of, stipulation of, okay, if we go with this route, this person has to have a counseling certificate or,
The bill is very specific.
open for anybody.
Yeah, they don't have to be certified.
No.
Now, an individual can be a chaplain, and can be certified as a counselor, but what are the chances of having an individual that is a high school counselor and also a chaplain? I don't know. But the bill is very clear. They don't have to be certified as quote-unquote school counselors.
They don't have to be certified, but if you're gonna hire a chaplain, it's gonna be somebody that's versed, somebody that you know that you did your due diligence in checking to make sure that they're a CCD or it just doesn't have to be Catholic again, but that they have a background in.
And now, we have to go, we have to vet the individual, and we have to go and look at the criminal records of those individuals. Criminal records, yes.
So that we can do a
That-
background checks and stuff.
Not only do we are required to do it.
Yeah, okay.
We are required, if they have a criminal record, then based on the criminal record, then we can decline that individual.
Well, Mr. Garza, but again, there's not a specific date, like by the end of October.
No,
or
we can implement this
by the end
whenever,
of-
right?
This was supposed to have been presented earlier, okay, but it's presented right now. Can we come at a later time, let's say next month, and do it, or next board meeting? I'm pretty sure we can do that.
Given the commentary that the trustees have already made, I have my reservations regarding this particular agenda item with regards to hiring or even asking for volunteers. I think that chaplains, no matter what religion it is, chaplains are available around the district, and they can, and they have been, I'm sure they have been available to anyone that is going through some sort of traumatic event. So I'm inclined, I'm just letting my colleagues know, I'm inclined to decline this particular agenda item. That is me.
My obligation is to come and present it to you. Your obligation to a certain degree is to either accept it or decline it. And if you look at the language, I selected the language purposely the way it is, because the obligation is either to accept it or to decline it.
Yes.
I hold that sentiment, Mr. Perez, but I would like to see if we could table this agenda item and maybe get back to the principals or the counselors to see if they see it as a need. If not,
Well, our
Because-
counselors
they
are
have-
already doing
yes, they're
something,
doing
or they
this.
are
Right.
available.
right?
So that's the only thing I see is that the majority of school districts, and we don't have to follow the lead, but the majority of the school districts are probably thinking along the same lines. It's also important, that was my question as far as it counting as an FTE, if we were to hire this individual, that's another position that we're going to be responsible for within the district. So for those reasons, I'm thinking that we already cover all of that, and that's why I personally think that we should decline this, but the majority, the consensus should be with the majority.
Are counselors guide spiritually?
Not spiritually.
No, not spiritually, but they will be there for any other
But if
grief counseling.
somebody needs spiritual guidance, they can always go to the
They can go.
church
They
that
can
they
refer
that they
the
choose to.
Congregation, yes. They can go
Should
to
they
the
choose
church.
to for spiritual guidance,
The counselors, they have certain guidelines that they have to follow.
right?
They ha-
Well, thank you, Mr. Exel.
Thank you,
You're
Mr.
welcome,
Asa.
Thank you.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I so move to decline authorization for campus chaplains under Texas Education Code, Section 33002.
Okay, is there a second?
Can we make another motion and
Wait.
then take a vote?
But after this one, is there a second to this motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? If none, there's a motion on the floor by trustee Escobar and seconded by trustee Mascoro to decline the authorization of a chaplain for this school district. All those in favor of this motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mary Lou also voting?
Aye.
Yes. 5 in favor.
I just wanted to make a motion to table it, but
Are you opposed, sir?
I'm opposed.
And we can go with your motion if you want.
Well, I thought it was supposed to be,
Well, had this motion been If there hadn't been any action on this motion, yes, then we would have entertained another one.
I thought it was just supposed to be, both motions were supposed to be,
No, not as like I said, we would have been able to have, another motion presented should the initial motion get to the point where there would be no action on it, then yes.
that would be the Roberts rule.
Yes. Any other comments? Then there is 5 in favor and 1 opposed and 1 absent. Motion carries. 2 decline. We'll go to agenda item number 11, consideration possible action for permission for Roma High School varsity mariachi to travel and raise funds to attend the induction ceremony of Mariachi Nuevo Santander to the Las Vegas Walk of Stars, and also compete at the City of North Las Vegas Mariachi competition that will be taking place this coming April 26th, 2025. Our presenter will be our District Performing Arts Director, Mr. Daniel E. Renteria. Mr. Renteria.
Good evening, Board President Perez, members of the board, and Superintendent Gonzalez. We are requesting permission for Roma High School Varsity Mariachi to travel and raise funds to attend the induction ceremony of Mariachi Nuevo Santander to the Las Vegas Walk of Stars, and also compete at the City of North Las Vegas Mariachi competition taking place on April 26th.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Renteria?
Yes, sir. I've got a question. You say raise funds. It's been brought to my attention that, I don't know if it's parents or the mariachi group has requested to do like a chalupa, a bingo
Yes,
at our VFW hall,
yes.
but that they were told no.
Yes, because a loteria is considered a bingo, and I know in the state of Texas, we brought this issue up with Mr. Luis Garza, and he reached out to the lawyers. It's called the Bingo Enabling Act, imposes numerous restrictions on bingo operations. So there's only 5 types of entities that may be licensed for bingo, including certain religious societies, certain nonprofit organizations, certain fraternal organizations, veterans organizations, and volunteer fire departments. School districts and campuses do not qualify to hold bingo fundraisers, and it is also unlikely that a booster club would be considered a qualified entity under the state law.
But, I'm just, I'm not questioning that, but my question is like, what's the legality? Like, in other words, why is it's just a bingo, it's a fundraiser?
I mean,
Did
That's
we,
just-
did we,
Could be
did we
considered
run that by
gambling.
our attorney, our
Yes.
counsel? We did?
Mr. Garza, if you would like to comment?
Yes, President Perez, this question has been presented to me in numerous occasions in previous years. So when this question was addressed to me, I already had the literature. I didn't contact the attorney because I had previously contacted the attorney years back. And I provided this literature to Ms. Belmontes and also to Mr. Renteria. Basically, an institution to have a bingo, they had to have a license. And we don't have a license. So the literature that I provided was based on TASB, a flyer, and specifically states that school districts are not supposed to do it. So I provided this literature because they came to me and they asked me, and right away I provided the literature. So I can provide that literature to you all if you wish. But again, we don't have a license, and we're going to be using the facilities, our facilities, to do this. Another question that was presented to me was that, well, what happens if the parents do it on their own, raise monies, and then they want to donate the money? And I said, that could be done, but again, they cannot dictate how to utilize the money, because there's a policy that states if we're going to receive the gift and we receive that monies, okay, and then that money belongs to us now. So we have to be cautious also.
But-
Not that we will not accept the monies or contributions, but we have to be cautious how we're gonna distribute that money.
But if they give it to the mariachi program instead of Roma ISD, they can,
They can choose what program to give it to, no?
Roma ISD.
yes, but not to, they're donating like to the football
Directly.
team or to the
Yeah,
mariachis or
directly to the
band.
mariachi.
Yes.
Sir,
I think that-
is it because, like bingos that, I think, that I'm thinking like the state is like when the VFW used to have a bingo, like when
They had a
the
license.
parish hall used to have a bingo, that they were giving money. It's my understanding that these, parents are gonna be giving, a gift certificate, a microwave, a TV, like, is that still fall under the same?
It's a religious group, they can have it.
If they don't have a license, again, they have to have a license in order for them to have a bingo, for them to have a raffle. So, and they're gonna be using, or they were asking to use our school facilities.
Mr. Garza, if I may interject, when you say you had this literature and you've asked this question in years past,
Yes.
how recent has it been that you have spoken to legal?
I believe that question was presented to me, sir, I will say about a year and a half.
Okay, just
More or
one.
less.
So then you contacted.
Yes, and I got it from TASB. TASB has some literature in reference to this.
Okay.
Now, did I go back to TASB and check to see if something was new? The answer is no, because again, this was recent. It was about a year and a half.
No, sir, I just
Unless the
wanted
law
to,
has
yes,
changed
I
recently.
just wanted to make sure that it wasn't, several years back. So
Right.
if it's that recent.
It was
then-
about a year and a half,
Yeah.
that one of the principals wanted to do this because they wanted to raise some monies and they wanted to use the facilities at the campus level. And I provided that literature because I had, I did some research.
Could the district go through one of those 5 organizations that allow that?
If the organization is gonna conduct the bingo, then it's different because, again, that organization has a license to, to conduct bingos and to.
They
do
would
raffles.
have to have that license.
That is my understanding, sir. I mean, when they come to me and they present this, I don't wanna be negative and say, no. I mean, I have to base it on what the statute is.
Yes, sir.
And
So-
I don't want for the district to get into problems.
So to summarize, Mr. Garza, legally, the school cannot allow them to host the bingo, but they can do it like in another, like a reception hall or something like that. They can still host it, but not in school grounds, pretty much.
Again, if that entity wants to do it on their own.
Right,
And if
on
they
their
don't have
own.
a license, I don't wanna give them the green light, yes, you can do it outside, because then they're gonna come and say, hold on, Mr. Garza stated that we could do it outside, and we don't have a license. Again, if they wanna do it on their own, it's their baby.
So if they do it somewhere else, the school cannot accept that money? Because
No,
I
they
mean,
can if they donate
can.
it, but-
If it's a donation, they wanna donate some money, yes. I also gave this, and Mr. Gonzalez knows this, that I gave this also to all the principals, including Mr. Max Habecker, because in that particular literature, it states, for example, that there are some individuals that wanna raise monies for, let's say, for baseball, for the male students. And they wanna give this donation, and now here's where Title IX comes, because we need to be equal among the males and females. So if all these monies are given to one particular entity within the athletic department, so now this entity, which is the baseball, is gonna have a lot more money than the other ones, which are the females. So now the athletic director has to be careful because you're giving more money to one particular institution or one particular sport. So there's where Mr. Max Habecker has to be a little bit careful to be uniform. And there's ways of doing it. So again, it's money, it's contribution. We welcome individuals that want to donate. Years back, I came and presented that particular policy about, and it was during election time. I remember clearly because there were some individuals that were giving monies, donating things, and there's a policy that indicates that if it's given to the district, again, now it belongs to the district. Now, in some occasions, When an individual wants to donate to a school district, there's where the superintendent has to say, I don't want to accept that particular donation. I'm not talking about cash. Where the district is gonna cost more to have that particular item. And I'm not talking about cash. So there's where you're gonna say, it's gonna cost me more to have that particular item that they wanna donate. So,
So, Mr. Garza, I don't see the problem here about males, females, because they're the same team, right? Now, you said that it would be up to the director. I'm assuming the director would take the judgment of, okay, donate it to the mariachi group, but then the director's gonna be like, we're gonna use it for the varsity, because you already said the director could be at free will of how they want to use the monies, if they hold a bingo or whatever other fundraiser they want to do, and then donate the money to the school for specifically the mariachi varsity team.
I guess what you're getting at, Mr. Garza, is if 3, 4 parents out of the 12, 14, 15 parents that have, that organize it, and those parents want to direct how that money is going to be spent, that's not going to be possible. Because once you give it to the school district, they have no say-so.
now it belongs to the school district.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, but they can donate to the group, right? And the one responsible for that would be the director.
Mariachi director can say, and then
So-
of course the superintendent can say, yes, we will accept this money. And,
So then technically,
there are some school, believe it or not, there are some school districts that they have it on the agenda item every single month because they get a lot of donations. And it is on the agenda item every single month because there are entities that they donate on a monthly basis. And it's up to the board to accept those donations or not. But now it belongs to the district.
But they can, like, if they would want to use the VFW, they can use it for a fundraiser, but just not a bingo, right? Just do
they
any
can
other
do a
event,
baile, they can
like
do a baile,
baile
for
or
example.
Games
They
or
can do a
whatever.
baile, and they can do that as a fundraiser. They can host a concert, and they can charge at the entrance, and that's okay. It's just not a bingo. But they can do other fundraising activities, correct?
Yes, with the exception, yes, I just caution you that during a baile or whatever, we're not supposed to be serving alcohol.
Oh, no, but they can do a baile for students, or they can do, you know, a concert for parents, maybe a concert with a meal or something like that.
Okay. I believe, from
many
what,
possibilities.
from what I'm understanding here is that if it's a fundraiser and it should be a bingo,
Bingo.
that was the example used, it cannot be sponsored by the school district. The school district cannot allow its buildings or the property to be used for that purpose, period. If family members want to have something on their own privately, whether it be a bingo, this has nothing to do with us. It's not a decision by the school district. If they want to have a beauty contest, if they want to do anything like that to raise funds, we're not going to question that because it has nothing to do with the school district. They decide at a later date, you know what, this money that we have raised, we want to donate it to the mariachi director. And they go and they give this money. It's not, I don't think that has any, the school district is liable in any way because we have not sponsored anything. It is a gift.
It is a gift.
It is a gift, that's all. And so,
If Mr. Pedro Alanis doesn't want to do a fundraiser and he wants to donate $1,000, here's my money, he can do that.
Yeah.
And anyone can do that.
and that wasn't-
And I don't know how he raised that money, but he wants to donate that money.
that's what I'm saying.
Then we will accept the money.
That's
The
what I'm
parents
saying.
have no problem, the way that I was presented, the parents have no problem doing it anywhere. Their thing was like, you know what, it's for the kids, for mariachi. It's gonna benefit the school district, and like, why can't we have it there? That was their,
That,
was your
it can't be, but it can't be, I don't think we can say that it's going to benefit the school district.
It'll benefit the
It
mariachi.
benefits the mariachi
The
program, but
mariachi.
it benefits, because I think some board members have said they go out somewhere and, or they've been out somewhere, and they've gotten pats on the back, so to me, that's benefiting the school district. In other words,
And I'm not questioning
it's
that you're not-
recognizing,
yeah.
it's putting the school district.
Yes, I'm not questioning the intent of these individuals. These individuals want to help the district, they want to help the mariachi. I'm not questioning that. And they have good intentions.
No, and
But
so do we,
there
so
has
do
to
we,
be,
but
you know, can we do it legally?
Well, I
just
thought,
not a bingo, but other activities, yes, as long as it's not a bingo.
Yes.
That's bottom
And at
line.
that point, if we're gonna use the facilities, then they go through the proper channels, asking permission to utilize the facilities, and if the superintendent agrees that yes, we will lend them the facilities, then
Yes.
I think it's just the area, the culture of bingo at Chalupa is you're gonna get prizes donated, and you charge whatever you charge. It's a good fundraising event, and that's where it's going. A dance, I think it was meant, a dance is,
But it's just an
Well,
option.
well, again,
Yes.
the decision to allow or not to allow the use of school property for functions like that is going to be left up to this office. I don't think we have to worry about anything else. We already know, we've made it clear that it cannot be for a bingo type of event. Okay, so then from then on, so as not to carry this on anymore, let's just say that a decision to use buildings is still available, but that decision will be made by this office.
correct.
The
That's always-
superintendent's
Yes,
office.
and
Yeah,
we-
of course, I'm sorry, Mr.
Go ahead.
They can come to Mr. Renteria to ask for the facilities, but his obligation is to come to the superintendent and yes.
Well,
And
yes,
request-
that's what I
and
meant.
he'll say yes or
Yes,
no.
and we have not said that they can't use the facility. We have not said they can't. The only thing that has been said is we're saying here. We can't have a bingo because we can't, state law.
And,
That's it. But we can use the building to raise funds for something else. We've never said no.
Exactly. And I know that there's some other agenda items, so right after I finish, I'll go in and print every single, that literature that I provided to the principal, so you can have it, you can read it.
We can be creative, just be creative, You can organize a plate sale, and we can use the building as the site to pick up the plate sale and stuff like that. And we have till April to do it, so we can do several of them. We just need to get people to help out and look at different organizations around the city is my recommendation, and ask them if they're willing to help. I know there's certain individuals that have had voiced their not their concern, but that they're willing to help. They've told me that they're willing to help. Just reach out to me or reach out to Mr. Renteria, and we can tell you who they are. And there's different ways we can raise money other than just the bingo.
Okay,
And this is just for the varsity mariachi, right, Mr. Reyes?
well, this agenda item right now, okay? So I'd like to get back to the agenda item at this time. I think we've made that perfectly clear, the other question that was asked.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Garza, for your insight. So the agenda item that Mr. Renteria has already presented is consideration possible action for permission for Roma High School varsity mariachi to travel and raise funds to attend the induction ceremony of Mariachi Nuevo Santander to the Las Vegas Walk of Stars, very similar to the one in Hollywood, right?
Yes, so moved to approve.
And also compete the City of North Las Vegas Mariachi competition taking place in April of 26th of 25. Okay, is there a motion?
Yes.
I so moved.
Mr. Moreno, okay.
I'll second it.
No further discussion?
No further discussion, but I do want to hear them sing. 1%. Ahí están los dos.
Okay. All right.
sigo yo, me sigo.
If no further discussion, there's a motion on the floor by trustee Moreno and seconded by trustee Barrera to approve agenda item number 11 as presented. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
6 in favor, none opposed, and 1 absent. Motion carries. Thank you. We'll go to agenda item number 12. Consideration and possible action to approve the payment to TEA of $500 per proposed designated teacher under the teacher incentive allotment. Presenter will be our district executive director for human resources, Mr. Edgar Garza. Mr. Garza.
Good evening, Mr. Perez, members of the board, Superintendent Mr. Gonzalez. I'm here to see if we would approve the payment of to TA of $500 per proposed designated teacher under the teacher incentive allotment. Currently, in the data that we submitted, we have 191 total teachers, so it would be a total of $95,500. The good thing, last year we paid about the same and we get reimbursed, but we don't get reimbursed until September of next year. So we would get reimbursed that amount. So it will come out from the district first, and then of course we'll get the reimbursement. Just to give you some information, like I said, we have 191 teachers that would be proposed for designation. Out of those 191, 143 are new designations. That means that these are teachers that didn't get a designation this past year, and 48 were an increase in designation. That means they went from recognized to exemplary, or recognized to masters, or exemplary to masters.
I so move to approve.
Any questions from Mr. Garza?
I'll second it, sir.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Moreno. Okay, is there any further discussion? If none, there's a motion on the floor by Trustee Moreno and seconded by Trustee Cruz to approve agenda item number 12 as presented. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
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 6 in favor, none opposed, 1 absent, motion carries. Agenda item 13 is going to be tabled. We'll go on to agenda item number 14. Consideration possible action on approving the members of the School Health Advisory Committee, known as SHAC, for the 2024-2025 academic year. Presenter is our District Director for School Safety, Mr. Ildefonso Saldivar Jr. Mr. Saldivar.
Good evening, Mr. President, trustees, Mr. Gonzalez, and guests. The purpose of me coming before the school board is to ask for your consideration and approval of the committee members for the SHAC. The SHAC assists school districts in ensuring that local communities' values are reflected in health, education, instruction. Additionally, SHAC plays an important role in strengthening the connection between health and learning. The SHAC helps parents and community stakeholders reinforce the knowledge and skills children need to stay healthy for a lifetime. The way the committee was created was by asking the campus principals to reach out to their parents that serve on the committee, and if they wish not to be part of again, they could be replaced. It is good practice to bring the recommendations on a yearly basis. For this upcoming school year, the SHAC committee has changed a little bit. It went from 13 members to 16 members, and basically we have 9 parents serving and 7 district directors and employees. I believe you have the list of the committee members on board book. Yes, we do. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Saldivar.
Thank you, sir.
Is there a motion?
I so move to approve agenda item 14 as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? If none, there's a motion on the floor by Trustee Escobar and seconded by Trustee Mascorro to approve agenda item number 14 as presented. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
6 in favor, none opposed, 1 absent, motion carries. Go to agenda item number 15 is closed session. And the topic will be Safe Global Services, School Safety Executive Summary and Risk Assessment Presentation. The presenter, again, will be our District Director for School Safety, Mr. Ildefonso Saldivar Jr. The time is now 8:42 p.m. And the Roma Independent School District Board of Trustees will go into closed session as authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Chapter 551.071 and 551.074 to discuss agenda item number 15. No action will be taken in closed session. We respectfully request that our Roma ISD community in attendance please wait in the Manuel Guerra building while the board is in closed session. The board is now in closed session.
sueño esto.
Yo también.
¿Tienes sueño?
Y hambre y todo.
También. No, ya mis huercos me están hablando. When's Whataburger getting home?
And what about that?
Dad, anda de gira artística el dad.
No, we can have another meeting to discuss what we want to do.
Okay.
Everybody here?
Yes. Everybody's here.
All right. The time is now 9:43 p.m. And this regular meeting of the Roma Independent School Board of Trustees is back in open session. For the record, there was no action taken in closed session. We'll go to agenda item number 16, consideration possible action on board training requirements. And this is the annual report that we're required to make. And the school board is mandated, as school board members are mandated to complete continuing education training as required by the State Board of Education. And the SBOE requires 8 training areas of continuing education for board members. They are local district orientation, this is for new members, orientation to the Texas Education Code, new members again, update to the Texas Education Code. This is after usually regular legislative sessions or special sessions on education. Team building annually with entire board and superintendent. Additional continuing education, 10 hours first year, 5 hours subsequent years. Evaluating student academic performance and setting goals. This is every 2 years. Number 7, identifying and reporting abuse and trafficking. That's every 2 years. And 8 is school safety, also every 2 years. Now you can, the report is if you have completed all your required hours for the current assessment year, then you are going to get a C in each of those topics that we mentioned. And if you are deficient, you would get a D, meaning that you didn't get that particular training. And if you get an E, means you exceeded required hours for the current assessment year. All right, I will start off with Mr. Jaime Escobar.
Sir, real quick, Mr. Perez, what happens if you get a D?
As far as local is concerned, nothing, sir. That is up to SBOE. So anyway, I'll start off with Mr. Jaime Escobar Sr. He got C's all through. Mrs. Yadira Barrera got an E for exceeding. Ms. Mary Lou Cruz got an E for exceeding. Mr. Evie Garza Jr. got an E for exceeding. Mrs. Mascorro got an E for exceeding. Mr. Moreno got a D, being deficient in one topic, team building. And myself, I got a C, completed my required hours. And that takes care of this agenda item.
Mr. Perez, I'm fine with the D, but my question, was it the team building or the student evaluation?
Okay, I'm looking at a chart that was given to me here, and so the D falls under topic 2, team building.
But, yeah, and I understand that, but I'm looking at the sheet where it has everybody's name. Let me see.
When you're looking at the
The one that But it has our names, you know, I'm not mistaken, I think, because I'm being honest, I don't have that one.
Okay, this is what was on board book.
Yeah, okay, all right.
It wasn't the team of 8 training, it was the last meeting we
The
had.
student outcome.
and this
That's
one
the one I'm
outcomes.
saying.
Yes.
That's the one I'm saying. It wasn't the team of 8. And
No.
it says that, right there, it says the team of 8.
No, it says
They were
team
gonna
building.
give us
Okay.
credit
No,
for
just
both.
as-
Okay.
Dr. Judith
Yeah.
Salis said she was gonna give us credit for both if all of us were in attendance, but since we weren't, that's why, I'm assuming that that's why it's under that topic.
Okay.
All right.
But that team, that training never said team of 8.
No, it's not team
No,
of 8.
she was gonna give us, she was credit for both trainings.
Okay.
So we just got credit for one training instead of both.
Okay.
No, you just presented.
Just to present it, right? Okay, we go to agenda item number 17, employment and resignation of professionals and paraprofessionals. Our presenter, District Superintendent, Mr. Gonzalez.
Mr. Pettis, I recommend you approve the employment and resignation of professionals and paraprofessionals listed in board book.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion?
I so move to approve agenda item 17 is presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? If none, there is a motion on the floor by trustee Escobar and seconded by trustee Barrera to approve agenda item number 17 as presented. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
6 in favor, none opposed, 1 absent, motion carries. We'll go to adjournment. I'll entertain a motion.
I so moved to.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
6 in favor, none opposed, 1 absent, motion carries. It is now 9:49 PM, and this regular monthly meeting of the Roma Independent School Board of Trustees held this Wednesday evening, October 23rd, 2024, is adjourned. We appreciate your attendance at this meeting and wish all of you a most enjoyable rest of the night, whatever's left of it, and week. Good night. Blessings to all of you. Until next time.